경계 경계 무상심 시민나 법에 전망건 난조 아금문근 누구에게 원해 열애 진실에게 법장제나 오마라나 마라다 오마라나 마라다 오마라나 마라다 근검은 야바라민 검법에 있는 분야 샤만 야시불 제사비구 기수구 고동원 여대비구 중천이 150인구 이시대전 즉시 자기 지발이 사이다기 선거시 거기 성진자재 거리원 지본처반사에 수입에서 조기 부자이자 선행기 전문시장 노수부리 대리 중증 진조자기 판단응경 설작시 합장공경 이병부른 이유세전 열애 소노님제 부선 동부중제 부산 세전 산남자 선여인 바란영 따라 삼명 선부리 지문 오나주 오나항복이 신부란 산재 수부리여여 소설 여러 소노님제 부산 선부중제 부산 여금제 정동이여 설선 남자 선여인 바란영 따라 삼명 선부리 지문여 지지여시 항복이 심리여 세전 원효용문대 세경전문 불구 수부리 대부설마 사릉여시 항복이 심소유 일제중생지리 행난생일 대생양 수생양 과생양 유생양 무생양 유상양 무상양 비유생 비무상하게 양이 무야 일반이면 도지여시면 도무령 무슨 무슨 생생도자 아이고 수부리 약보산 유아상 인상 중생산 수자상 제비보산 여행 모집은 부처 수보리 보살 법법이 무소지 생어보시 소리 보시 세보시 부지 상념미조 보보시 수보리 보살 능여시 보시 부지 어상하이고 약보살 부지 상보시 기복덕 불가사령 수보리 어이오나 동방어공과 사령부 불야사전 수보리 남사군 반사유 상하오공과 사령부 불야사전 수보리 보살 모지 상보시 복덕 여부여시 불가사령 수보리 보살 나는 여수교주 여리실견부 수보리 어이오나 가이 신상견열애부 불야사전 불가이 신상대견 열애하여 열애소사 신상지기 빌란수 상불구 수보리 범소유 상계시어 망약견절 상비상지견열애 정신이 여분 수보리 백불안세전 파유중생 금원여시영 산장구생 신신부불구 수보리 망자시사열애 멸우호 백세 유지계 수복자 자장구 능생 심심의 자위술랑지신 불어일불리 불삼사오 불이중성근이여 모량 전문불소 중재성근문시장구 내진 영생정 능진자 수보리 열애 실질신견 시제중생 등여시 모량복덕 하이고 시제중생 무보화 상인상 중생상 수자상 무보상 영무비법상 하이고 시제중생 약심치상 즉위 자가인 중생 수자 약지법상 직자가인 중생 수자 하이고 약지비법상 직자가인 중생 수자 시구 부릉시법 부릉시비법 이시고 열애 상설 야등비고 지하설법령 유자범성사 왕비법 모등무살분 수보리 어이오나 열애대간용 다라선명 선보리의 열애유서서법냐 수보리 안여하에불 소설이무의 정법명 안용 다라선명 선보리 용무의 정법 열애가 선하이고 열애소설법기에 불가시 불가설 비법 비비법 소의자 일제연성계위무의법 이유자불리법 중생문 수보리 어이오나 약인만 삼천대전세계 질부의 영보시신 소득봉동령이 다부수보리 안심다사존하이고 시법덕 육비법덕 손시고 열애설법덕 다야부유나 자경진 수진의 이사국의 등의 다인설기 복순비아이고 수보리 일저제불급제불아뇨 다라선명간보리 법계정창경수 수보리 소위불보자 육비불법에서 무상분 수보리 어이오나 수다원능작시냐마득 수다원가부 수보리 연불야사존하이고 수다원명이 임유이 무소의 불입작성념이 저범시명 수다원 수보리 어이오나 사다함는 작시냐마득 수다원가부 수보리 연불야사존하이고 사다함명이 원래 시무벌레 시명사다함 수보리 어이오나 하나함능 작시냐마득 하나함가부 수보리 연불야사존하이고 하나함명이 불레이 시무불레 시고명 하나함 수보리 어이오나 하라함능 작시냐마득 하라함두부 수보리 연불야사존하이고 시모유법명 하라함 사존약 하라함 작시냐마득 하라함두 주기자가인 중생수자사진 불살라등 무제선매인정세일제연시제일시오가라한 세존야 아부작시냐마시오가라한 세존하약작시냐마득하라한 도사진즉불소수보리시오하란 나행자이 수보리시문소행이명 수보리시오하란 나행장 엄정투분불구 수보리어이오나 열애성저연등불소업법유소득부불야세존 열애제연등불소업법실문소득 수보리어이오나 보살장엄불도 부불야세존 하이고 장엄불도 자직비장엄 시명장엄 시부수부 부살마 사릉여시 상정진신부른주 sak생신부른주 상념미조거생칭 무소시 이상기심수보리 비하여인 신예수미사낭 어이연하시 신위대부수보리 연신대세존 하이고 불선비신진명대시모의 복승분수보리 영아중수 이사위야시 사대가가 어이연하시제양아 사형이 다부수보리 연심다세존단제양아 성도무수학원기사수보리 하금실령구의 형유선 남자 선녀인의 칠구만이 수왕아 사수삼천대천세계 영보시득복 다부수보리 연심대세진 불구수보리 약선 남자 선녀인아 자경준내주 수지사국의 등불 나인설리전볼도 선점선전주저전불무차수보리 수선주저 내지사국의 등당지 자철 재세간천이 나수라기행 공양여 불타며 하왕유인 진능 수지도 성수보리 당지신 성지제일리유 공동나 약시용천도 제지체주기유 불량전준자자여 법수지분이 시수보리 벽부란 세전당하면 자경하동 나봉지불고 수보리 시경병이 승감반야 바람에 이지명자 여당봉지 소의자 수보리 불설반야 바람에 제피반야 바람에 지명반야 바람에 수보리 어이오나 열애 유서설 부부 수보리 벽부란 세전열애 무서선 수보리 어이오나 삼천대천자계 소유매진 수유다부 수보리 한심다세춘 수보리 제매진 열애 설비매진 시명이 매진 열애 설세계 비세계 시명세계 수보리 어이오나 가이 32상견 열애 부빌야 세전불가 하이 32상견 열애 아이고 열애 설 32상 72상 시명 32상 수보리 행위 선남자 선녀인 이행하사 등 신명보시약 부여인 어차경진 내지 수시 계등비다인 설기봉순다 이상정만 본이시 수보리문 설지경심의 추세르기의 비백불의 이호사심은 설야시 심신경전 하롱성내소 득해한 미증 등문 여시지경 세전약부여인 등문 시경진 짐정정직성 실상정지시인 성지제일 리유공도 세전시설상자직 시비상시고 열애 설명시산세존 하금 등문 여시경전 신해수지시기 수지부적 위난 약간나세 후 백세기 유중생 등문시경신의 수지시인 지기제일 희유 하이고 차이모 아상모 인상모진 생산모수자 상소의자 상직시비상 인상중생산 수자상 직시비상 하이고 일철장 상직밀절불불구수부리 여시여시 약부인 등문시경 등문시경 불경불보불외당지시인 심의휴 아이고 수보리열애 설제열 바라는 직비제열 바라는 시명제열 바라는 수보리 인력 바라는 열애 설인력 바라는 시명 인력 바라는 아이고 수보리여 아석기가리와 전시제하의 시모와 상모인 상모주연상모주 사상 아이고 아모몽설절지의 시양류 아상 인상 중생산 수자상 용생진한 수보리 운영가고 백세자긴 역선인 어이 서세무와 무인상 모증산산 모수자 상시구 수보리 보살랑인 재상바라뇨 다라 삼명선보리 신부등주 생생신 보등주 상남매정 원생신 응상 모수주신 양신유 주기비주시구 불설부산 신부등주 색보지 수보리 보살위 길제중생 여시보시 열애선일제중 이집이상우살일제중생 집비중생 수보리 열애 시신하자 실어자야 어자불강 어자부리 여자수보리 열애소득법자법무시고 수보리 약보살신주어법이 행보시야인은 만증문서 소견약보살신보주법이 행보시야인은 멍이가 만조견정정세 수보리 당내시생행류 작남자선여인은 어자경수지도성지기 열애의 불지의 시행시견시 대백성치 무량모병공덕지경공덕분 수보리 행위 선남자선여인 조일분분 양하사 등신보시 중일분 부의 양하사 등신보시 우일분 양이 양하사 등신보시 여시무량백전만학과 이신보시 약부의 문차경전신진물력기공 순비하망서사주시도서메인에서 수보리 연지시경여 불가사의 불가증량 무병공덕열의 유발야성자설 불건체성자선양여인 능수지독 광해인설열의 실지신 실견시인 개색성치 불가량 불가증무일변 불가사의 공덕여신 등주의 아담열의 한용다라 삼명삼모야의 구수보리 행유소법자 장하견인견진생견수자견 질구자 청소독성외인에서 수보리 제자청양유 자경일 제세간 전이나수라소 홍공양간 유사저주기 식당계 행공양전례위호 이정왕이 상기차는 정업장본부자 수보리 선남자 선여인 수지독성자기 야기인 경천시인 선세제야 봉사학도의 금사인 경천구선 세제야 주기 서명당대 안용따라 삼명선보리 수보리 안영가고 무량 아승지가 와연득불전득지 840만 학령이 터지수시계 공양수사 무공가 위나만 세정수지독 성자경 소득공덕 화서공년 제불공덕 백선불급일 천만학분 나이지 산수비유 소불능급 수보리 양선남자 선녀인 어만 세유수지독 성자경 소득공덕 아야 구설자 호기인만 심중강한 호의 불신 수보리 당지시경이 불가사의 과보역 불가사의 구경무함 시수보리 백보란 세전 선남자 선녀인 바라니 따라 삼명선보리 시몽우나 우나우 응주나 보기 신불구수보리 약선남자 선녀인 바라뇨 따라 삼명선보리 심사상 생여시시망 멸도일체중생 멸도일체중생이 무유일중생 실면도자 이구수보리 약보살유화상인 성중생단 수자사 유비보살 소위자 수보리 신무유법 바라뇨 따라 삼명선보리자 수보리 어이오나 열애 어연등불소유법 대가뇨 따라 삼명선보리 부불야세선녀 아이불수설이 부를 연등불소무유법 삼명삼보리 불언여시 여시수보리 신모유법열에 대간요다라 삼명삼보리 수보리 양요법열에 대간요다라 삼명삼보리 저연덕불적불려 수기연에 대당대자불로석가모니 신모유법 대간요다라 삼명삼보리 시소연덕불려 수기자치연연에 대당대자불로석가모니 아이고 열애자 직접법녀의 양요에는 열애 대간요다라 삼명삼보리 수보리 신모유법불 대간요다라 삼명삼보리 수보리 열애소 대간요다라 삼명삼보리 여시신모 무하시고 열애사를 접하게시 불법수보리 소환을 접하 예법은 육비의 접합시고 명의 접합수보리 비하인 신전대 수보리 연사전 열애설인 신전대 지기비 대신 지명 대신 수보리 부성령량시 약작시연 아랑멸도 모량주생 즉불명 부상라이고 수보리 신무유법명의 부사시고 부설을 접합 무하모인모 수자수보리 약부산작시연 아당장엄 불도시 불명부산라이고 열애설장엄 불도자식비장엄 지명장엄 수보리 약부산통đồng 무하법자 열애사 영진시 부사를 제동간부 수보리 어유나 열애유 간부야시 사전 열애유 간수보리 어유나 열애유 전환부야시 사전 열애유 전환 수보리 어유나 열애유 안부야시 사전 열애유 수보리 어유나 열애유 법원부야시 열애유 보라완 수보리 어유나 열애유 불안부야시 사전 열애유 불안 수보리 어유나 영아주 소유 사불로지사부야시 사전 열애사 시사 수보리 어유나 여이랑아주 소유 사유야시 사등항아 시장아 소유 사수불사시야시 영이 여사준 불구수보리 서국동중 소유 중생약간 용신 열애수지 아이고 열애선 제신기의 비신지명 위심소유 저수보리 과거 신불가득 현지 신불가득 미래 신불가득 법계 통합은 수보리 어유나 영영인 만삼천대 실보이용보시신 이시인년 득복다부야시 사준 자인 이시인년 득복신다 수보리 약복동 연신 열애부설 득복덕다 이복동모고 열애설 득복덕다 이세기상분 수보리 어유나 불가이고 적성신금 부불야사준 열애부리고 족생신견아이고 열애설 구족색신 기피구족색신 시명구족색신 수보리 어유나 열애가이고 족자상견부불야사준 열애부리고 족자상견아이고 열애설 조상직비구족 시명자상구족 비속 소설분 수보리 아무리 열애작신야 마당유서설법망정신여마이고 야기는 열애유설 설법주기 방법불능해야 소설구 수보리 설법자 무법가사 시명설법 이시에는 수보리 백불은 세존파유중생 어미래 세문설기법은 신신불불원 수보리 비비중생 비불중생 하이고 수보리 중생 중생자 열애설비 중생 시명중생 무법가득분 수보리 백불은 세존불대간욕 따라 삼명삼보리 위모서 등야불은 여시여시 수보리 안욕 따라 삼명삼보리 내시 무유서법가득 시명안욕 따라 삼명삼보리 정시맹금 부부자 수보리 시법 등등 무유 영안욕 따라 삼명삼보리 무아모인 무중생 무수자선 수일자 선법 직득 안욕 따라 삼명삼보리 수보리 소엄 선법자 열애설 직비 선법 시명 선법 복제보금은 수보리 약산천대 천세계 중수 수일자 승미사는 여시 등출부 중인 지용부 신약이니 자반야 바라명경 내지 사국의 등수 지독성미 위타인설 러전북던 백부불급일 백천만억분 내지 선수비유소 불능구 화무소화분 수보리 여이오나 여등무리 열애작신야 마당 도중생 수보리 막정신염 아이고 실무중 유중생 열애 도자형 유중생 열애 도자 열애 중요한 중생 수자 수보리 열애설 유아자 직비 유아 이본부신 이위 유아 수보리 본부자 열애선 직비 본부시면 본부보신 비상분 수보리 어이오나 가이 32상관 열애부 수보리 이어지 32상관 열애부런 수보리 약이 32상관 열애자 정윤선한 즉시 열애 수보리 백불은 세준 여아해부 소설이 부릉이 32상관 열애 24전 이상기한 약이 석견아 이엠성구와 시인항사도 불능견 열애 모범 무단무배본 수보리 여야자 신념 열애부리 고적상고대 간욕 따라 삼명삼보리 수보리 막작신념 열애부리 고적상고대 간욕 따라 삼명삼보리 수보리 여약작신념 바란욕 따라 삼명삼보리 심자설접법 단면 막작신념 아이고 바란욕 따라 삼명삼보리 심자업법 불설단면서 비순술단분 수보리 약부선 이만항하사 중세계 주부지용보시 약부용인주인 자법무화 득성의 자보살 승전보살 수도고도 아이고 수보리 이제부살 불수복도고 수보리 백불은 사준 운하보살 불수복도 수보리 보살 소저복도 불은 담전시고살 불수복도 위에 접정문 수보리 행유인한 열애양래 약과 약자시인 불레야 소소리 아이고 열애자 모서 정래 영무소 고고명 열애일라 비상분 수보리 약이 선남자 선녀인이 삼천대천세계세 용매진하여 나심의 정정량이 다부수보리 안심다사존 아이고 약심의 진정 신료자 불직불선심의 진정 소위자 불선의 진정 유비의 진정 지명의 진정 소지 사존 열애소선 삼천대천세계 지비세계 시명세계 아이고 약세계 신료자 직시일합상 열애설일합상 지비일합상 지명일합상 수보리 일합상자 직시불가 설담분부신 탐색이 사시견 불선 불수보리 야기남 불선하게 인견준 생견 수자견 수보리 어이원하시네 아소소리 부불야 사전시인 불래 열애 소소리 아이고 사전선하게 인견준 생견 수자견 주비 인견준 생견 수자견 수명하게 인견준 생견 수자견 수보리 바람욕 따라 삼명삼보리 심자 어일체파분야시시 야시견 야시신의 불상법산 수보리 소환법산저 열애선 주비법산 지명법산 아비신분 수보리 행유인 이만무량 아승지 세계 질부지 영부시 행유 선남자 선녀일발부산 신자지여 자격내지 사국의 등수지독 연설기 복순 비우나위인 연설불치 여상여야 부동 하이고 일체기위 법령왕포인 여로 영여정 영여시간 불서시경이 장로 수보리 급제 비구 비구니 우바세 우바의 일체세간 전이나 수라 소설계대 원이 심수봉의 긍강반야 바람이 긍강반야 바람을 지는 나무바가 바다 구라주나 바람이 다해 옴나타 디티다 일시일시밀시밀시비나연 비나연 나무바가 바다 구라디디연 부라디리디리디 미리티 슈리티 슈리티 우시리 부유에 부유에 스바 나무바가 바다 구라주나 바람이 다해 옴나타 디티다 일시일시밀시밀시비나연 비나연 나무바가 바다 구라디디연 부라디리디리디 미리티 슈리티 슈리티 우시리 부유에 부유에 스바 나무바가 바다 구라주나 바람이 다해 옴나타 디티다 일시일시밀시밀시비 나무바가 바테 프라디디안 프라디리디리디 미리티 슈리티 슈리티 우슈리 부야 부야 스바 금강심지나무 모리니 사바 모리니 사바 모리니 사바 원해샤 원더보드를 샤등 여중서 실발보리 신동이 금강계계 공성불도 금강만야 바람이 경찬 여시하면 선남자 선녀인 수지독성 자경찬일관 여장 건강약 30만 편우득 신명과 비중상제 요구권 대령 7년 비사년령 유시여 여연유시구 40만 지체를 득감는 나다 문화 예상이라 작가인야 여자 다발연 상이라 편지득 건강약 오문화 하불년 건강약 차여자 다발연 세상무본 오늘 박영원 분년 기치 경문 종려시하면 지신수수보 양도계 5149절 69불 54전 85 열애 37보살 138수불이 26선 남자선녀인 83 하이고 36인선 31 나이나 30여시 29 안욕 따라 303불이 21부시 18복덕이 14 항하사 12 매진 7개 3천대천 세계 7개 32상 8공동 8정암 5바람의 사수다원 사사담 사남 사란 천시사가 선인여 토끼건 영알진 지체여 왕석절여지 예시양여하상이사 중생상수자상 일일무하견 인견준생견 수자견 삼비군이 수내칠 사국의 나무 금강반야 바람일견나무 금강반야 바람일견나무 금강반야 바람일견 Opening invocations. Homage to the diamond 금강반야 바라며 나모 다이몬 금강 사트라 나모 다이몬 파자 파라미타 수트라 나모 다이몬 파자 나 파라미타 수트라 Opening verse. The supremely profound and subtle Dharma, rarely encountered in hundreds of thousands of millions of eons. Now that I hear this sutra and can uphold it, I vow to understand the Tathagata's true meaning. Mantra of the Dharma Assembly. Om Aranam Arada. Om Aranam Arada. Om Aranam Arada. First, the occasion of the Dharma Assembly. Thus have I heard. At one time, the Buddha was staying at the Jada Vana, Anathapindika's park in the kingdom of Suravati. together with a great assembly of 1,250 monks. When it was time for the meal, the world honored one put on his robe, took his arm, arms bowl, and entered the city of Suravati to collect alms, going from house to house. After collecting alms, he returned his dwelling, completed his meal, put away his robe and bowl, washed his feet, arranged his seat, and sat down. Subati recaps the teaching. At that time, the elder Swati, Subaru, who was among the assembly, his rose from his seat, bared his right shoulder, knelt on his right knee, joined his palms in reverence, and addressed the Buddha. Rare and wondrous it is, Tathagata, that you care for all bodhisattvas and entrust them with your instructions, world honored one. Who should a virtuous man or woman who has given rise to the mind of Anuttara Samyak Sambhuri abide in that awakened mind, and how should they subdue their afflicted mind? The Buddha said, well said, Subaru. As you have said, the Ta Tathagata cares for all bodhisattvas, entrusts them with instruction. Now listen carefully, for I shall explain this to you. A virtuous man or woman who has given rise to the mind of Anuttara Samyak Sambhuri should abide their awakened mind thus and subdue their afflicted mind thus. Yes, word honored one, I eagerly wish to hear it. The true principle of Mahanaha, Mahayana. The Buddha said to Subari, all bodhisattva mahasavas should subdue their afflicted minds in this way. All kinds of sentient beings, whether born from egg, wombs, moisture, or transformation, whether with form or without form, whether with thoughts, without thoughts, or neither with nor without thoughts. I shall lead them all to nirvana of liberation and deliver them. Yet, even though countless sentient beings are thus delivered, in truth, not a single sentient being is delivered. Why is this, Svodi? Because if a bodhisattva holds notion of a self, others, sentient beings, or longevity, they are not a bodhisattva. The wondrous practice without abiding. Furthermore, Subal, a bodhisattva should practice giving without abiding by any phenomenon. Phenomenon. They should provide without abiding by form and not accept sound, smell, taste, touch, or any phenomenon while giving. Subharti. A bodhisattva should give in this way without abiding by appearances. Why? Because if a bodhisattva gives out abiding in appearances, their merit is so vast that it cannot be measured by thought. Subarti, what do you think? Can the emptiness of the western direction be fully measured by thoughts? No, it cannot. Word honored one. Subarti, can the emptiness of the southern, western, northern, intermediate direction, or the emptinesses above and below be fully measured by the thoughts? No, it cannot. Word honored one. Subhati. The merit of the Bodhisattva who gives without abiding in appearances, abiding in appearances, is likewise immeasurable by thoughts. Subhati. A Bodhisattva should abide as taught, saying the truth of reality. Subaru, what do you think? Can the Tathagata be seen through his physical form? No word honors. 1. The Tathagata cannot be seen through his physical form. Why? Because the form that the Tathagata speaks of is not truly form. The Buddha said to Subori, all phenomena are illusory. If you see all the phenomena as untrue forms, then you see the Tathagata. True faith in the final age is rare. Sparti said to the Buddha, world honored one. Will there be sentient beings who, upon hearing such words or verses, can give rise to the true faith? The Buddha said to Sparti, do not say such a thing. Even 2,500 years after the Tathagata has passed, there will be those who uphold the perceptions and cultivate merit, capable of giving rise to faith in these words and verses and regarding them as genuine. Know this, such a person has not only formally planted goodness on the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 Buddhas, but has already established sacred roots, sacred roots of goodness on the countless millions of Buddhas. Hearing these verses will give rise to pure faith in a single moment of thought. Sparti, the Tathagata fully knows and sees that all such sentient beings will attain immeasurable merit in this way. Why? Because these sentient beings no longer hold notion of a self, others, sentient beings, or longevity, nor do they hold notion of true of false teachings. Why? If these sentient beings grasp at any appearances in their mind, they will cling to notion of a self, others, sentient beings, or longevity. If they grasp the idea of truth, they will still be caught in notions of self, others, sentient beings, or longevity. And if they gasps and gasps the idea of false teachings, they will likewise be caught in those same notions. Therefore, you should neither cling to actual teachings nor false teachings. This is why I have always told you, monks, know that the Dharma I teach is like a raft. Even the truth must be let go of. How much more so false teachings? Nothing attained, nothing spoken. Subori, what do you think? Has the Tathagata attained Anattara Samyak Sambhuri? Has the Tathagata spoken any Dharma? Sporty said, as I understand the meaning of what the Buddha has said, there is no fixed truth called Anyattara Samyak Sambhuri, nor has the Tathagata spoken any fixed Dharma. Why? The truth spoken by the Tathagata cannot be guessed or expressed. It is neither true nor non-true. Why? Because all enlightened sects and saints differ from others due to their transcendence of their relative world through the unconditioned absolute Dharma. All arise from this truth. Sporty, what do you think? If a person filled the Trenchalocosan with the 7 treasures and gave them widely in charity, how great would their merit be? Sporty said, very great, world-honored one. Why? Because this merit is not the inherent nature of merit. The Tathagata says it is great merit. Buddha said, if another person uphold even just 4 lines from this sutra and explain them to others, their merits would far surpass the former. Why Subhati? Because the Anattara Samyak Sambhuri of all Buddhas arise from this sutra. Subhati, called the Buddha's Dharma, is not truly the Buddha's Dharma. The absolute Dharma is not a being. Subhati, what do you think? Would a stream anterior think, I have attained the fruits of a stream entry? Subhati said, no, world-honored one. Why? Because stream anterior is merely a name for entering the flows of holy ones, yet in reality not is entered, neither form, sound, smell, taste, touch, nor any phenomenon. It is only called stream entered rear. Subhati, what do you think? Would a once returner think, I have attained the fruit of once returning? Subhati said, no, world-honored one. Why? Because once returners is merely a name for one who returns once, yet in reality there is no thoughts of going or returning. It is only called once returner. Sporty, what do you think? Would a non-returner think, I have attained the fruits of non-returning? Sporty said, no, world-honored one. Why? Because non-returner is merely a name for one who does not return. Yet in reality, there is no thoughts of not returning. It is only called non-returner. Sporty, what do you think? Would an unearther think, I have attained the path of an arhat? Sporty said, no, world-honored one. Why? Because if an arhat thoughts, I have attained the path of an arhat, they would be clinging to notion of a self, others, sentient beings, or longevity. World-honored one, you have said, I am foremost among those who have attained the samyak samahi Samahi, free from contention, the first among those who have abandoned desire as an arhat. Yet, world-honored one, I do not think I am an arhat who has abandoned desire. World honored one. If I thought I have attained the path of an arhat, you would not have said the Subhuti delights in the practice of solitude, because Subhuti truly has no thought of practicing solitudes. You have said that Subhuti delights in the practice of solitude. Adoring the Pure Land, the Buddha said to Subhuti, Subhuti, what do you think? Did the Tathagata attain any truth while in the presence of Dipankara Buddha in the past? No, word honored one, the Tathagata did not attain any truth while in the presence of Dipankara Buddha. Subhuti, what do you think? Does a Bodhisattva adorn a Buddha land? No, world honored one. Why? Because the adornment of the Buddha land by Bodhisattva is not truly adornment. It is merely called adornment. Therefore, Subhuti, all Bodhisattva Mahasattva should give rise to pure mind in this way. They should not give rise to a mind abiding in form, nor should they give rise to mind abiding in sound, smell, touch, or any phenomenon. Subhuti, for example, if a person's body were as large as Mountain Sumeru, what do you think? What do you think? Would that body be considered significant? Subhuti said, very large, world honored one. Why? Because the Buddha has said that what is not a body is called a large body. Immeasurable great merit. Subhuti, if there were as many Ganges rivers as grains of sands in the Ganges, what do you think? Would the sands in all those Ganges river be numerous? Subhuti said, very numerous, world honored one. Even the number of Ganges river alone would be countless. How much more so the sands within them? The Buddha said, Subhuti, I now tell you the truth. Tell you truly, if a virtuous man or woman filled a many tranquilocosm as there are sands in those Ganges rivers and 7 treasures, and gave them widely in charity, how great would their merit be? Subhuti said, exceedingly great, world honored one. The Buddha said to Subhuti, if a virtuous man or woman upheld even just 4 lines from this sutra and explained them to others, their merit would be immeasurably greater than the former, reversing the true teaching. Furthermore, Subhuti, if even just 4 lines from this sutra I explained, know this, that place will be one where all beings of the world, gods, humans, and asura, should make offering as they would do to a Buddha's stupa or temple. How much more so if a person can fully uphold, read, and recite this sutra? Subhuti, know this. Such a person has attained the highest, most supreme and rare truth. Wherever there is a sutra is present, it is as if the Buddha is there, or as if a reverse disciple of the Buddha is there. upholding it according to the Dharma. At that time, Subhuti said to Buddha, World Honored One, what should this sutra be called, and how should we uphold it? The Buddha said to Subhuti, this sutra is called the Daimon Pajanaparamit, a sutra, and you should uphold it as such. Why? Because the Gungangbanya Parame, perfection of wisdom, spoken by the Tathagata, is not truly Gungangbanya Parame. It is merely called Gungangbanya Parame. Subhuti, what do you think? Has the Tathagata spoken any truth? Subhuti said to Buddha, World Honored One, the Tathagata has not spoken anything. Subhuti, what do you think? Are the countless particles of the dust in Trinchelocosm numerous? Subhuti said, very numerous. World Honored One, the Buddha said, Subhuti, the Tathagata says that all these dust particles are not truly dust. They are merely called dust. The Tathagata says that a word is not truly a word, but merely called a word. Subhuti, what do you think? Can the Tathagata be seen through the 32 marks of a great being? No, World Honored One. The Tathagata cannot be seen through the 32 marks of a great being. Why? Because the 32 marks of a great being spoken by the Tathagata are not truly marks. They are merely called marks. The Buddha said, Subhuti, if a virtuous man or woman gave away as many lives as there are sands in the Ganges river in charity, and another person upheld even just 4 lines from this sutra and explained them to others, the latter's merit would be far greater than the former. Tranquil cessation, free from all forms. At that time, Subhuti, upon hearing the words of this sutra, deeply realized its meaning, shed tears, and wept softly. He then spoke to Buddha. Truly extraordinary, World Honored One, that the Buddha expounds such a profoundly deep sutra. I, in all my past lives, up to this moment, with the eyes of wisdom I have cultivated, have never heard such a sutra before. World Honored One, if a person hears this sutra and gives rise to the pure faith, then the realm of the true reality will manifest for them. It should be known that such person has surely attained the most extraordinary merits. World Honored One, this realm of true reality is not phenomenon or a concept, and therefore the Tathagata has named it the realm of true reality. Yet, World Honored One, for me to hear this sutra, believe it, understand it, and uphold it is not difficult. However, if in the future, 2,500 years from now, there are sentient beings who hear this sutra, believes it, understands it, and uphold it, those people will generally be the most extraordinary. Why is this so? Because the notion of self is not an absolute concept, nor are the notion of others, that sentient beings or longevity absolute concepts. Why? Because what is called Buddha is precisely that which has let go of all concept entirely. The Buddha said to Subhuti, so it is, so it is. If there is again a person who hears this sutra and and is neither shocked, frightened, nor fearful. Know this: such a person is truly extraordinary. Why is this so, Subodhi? The supreme perfection, paramita, that the Tathagata speaks of is not the supreme perfection. It is merely called supreme perfection, Subodhi. The perfection is the perfection of patience is that the Tathagata speaks of is not the perfection of patience. It is merely called perfection of patience. Why is this so, Subodhi? When in the past King Kali dismembered my body, at that time I had no notion of self, not no notion of others, no notion of sentient beings, and no notion of longevity. When my limbs were severed joint by joint, if I had had notion of self, others, sentient beings, or longevity, I would surely have given rise to anger and resentment. Subordinate. Recall also that in the past, for 500 lifetimes, I practiced as a sage of patience. Even then, I had no notion of self, no notion of others, sentient beings, and no notion of longevity. Therefore, Subodhi, a Bodhisattva should let go of all concepts and awaken the mind of unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment. Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. They should not give rise to a mind attached to form, nor should they give rise to mind connected to sounds, smell, taste, touches, or any phenomena. They should give rise to mind that abide nowhere. Even if there is abiding in the mind, it is not genuinely abiding. Thus, the Tathagata says that a Bodhisattva should give charity without being attached to forms. Subodhi. A Bodhisattva should provide in this way to benefit all sentient beings. Yet the Tathagata says that all concepts are not concepts, and all sentient beings are not sentient beings. Subodhi. The Tathagata speaks the truth, one who speaks reality, one who speaks what is, one who does not speak falsehood, and one who does not say otherwise. Subodhi. The truth that the Tathagata has attained this Dharma is neither real nor unreal. Subodhi. If a Bodhisattva gives charity while their mind abide by some phenomenon, it is like a person in darkness who cannot see anything. But if a Bodhisattva gives charity without their mind abiding in any phenomenon, it is like a person with clear eyes seeing all sorts of things distinctly in bright sunlight. Supporting in the future, there is a virtuous man, woman, who can uphold, read, and recite this sutra. The Tathagata, with the wisdom of Buddha, will fully know and fully see the person. They will all attain immeasurable, boundless merit. The merit of holding the sutra. The subordinate, suppose a virtue man or woman in the morning gives away as many bodies as there are grains of sand in Ganges river, then at noon again gives away as many bodies as there are grains of sand in Ganges river. and in the evening once more gives away as many bodies as there are grains of sand in Ganges River, performing such acts of giving with their bodies for countless hundreds or thousands of millions of eons. If, however, there is another person who hears this sutra and gives rise to faith without resistance, and merit of that person will surpass the former, how much more so if they copy this sutra, uphold it, read it, recite it, and explain it to others? Subodhi. To summarize, this sutra possesses an inconceivable, immeasurable, and boundless merit. The Tathagata has expounded this sutra for those who have set forth in the great vehicle, Mahayana, and for those who have set forth on the supreme vehicle. If there is a person who can uphold this sutra, read it, recite it, and widely explain it to others, the Tathagata fully knows and fully sees that person. Such a person will attain merit that is immeasurable, inexpressible, limitless, and beyond comprehension. These people are the ones who bear the Tathagata's unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment. On Anyaktara Samyak Samburi. Why is this so? Subodhi. Those who delight in the teaching of the ledger vehicle, Hinayana, cling to the notion of self, the notion of others, the notion of sentient beings, and the notion of longevity. Thus, they cannot hear, understand, read, recite, or explain this sutra to others. Subodhi. Whenever this sutra is present, is where all beings of world, gods, humans, and asura should make offering. Know that place is equivalent of a sutupa worthy of reverence. All should pay homage, circumambulate it, and scatter various flowers and incense there, purifying and clarifying and storehouse of karma. Furthermore, body, if a virtuous man or woman uphold this sutra, read it and recite it, and as a result, it despised or insulted by others, know that this person, due to the karmic offense of past lives, was destined to fall into an evil realm. However, by being despised by others in this present life, those past karmic offenses are extinguished, and they will surely attain unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment. Anyaktara Samyak Sambhuri. Moreover, suppose there is yet another person who in the future, during the final age, can uphold the sutra, read it, and recite it. In that case, the merit they gain will far exceed the merit I accrued by offering to all the Buddhas, surpassing it not by a hundredth part, but by a millionth, billionth, or any mathematical comparison. Sporty. If I were to fully describe the merit gained by a virtuous man or woman who in the final age to come upholds and recite this sutra, some people, upon hearing it, might become confused, doubtful, and unable to believe it. Subordinate, you should know this. The meaning of this sutra is beyond conception, and its words are immeasurably vast. Ultimately, there is no self. At that time, Subodhi addressed the Buddha, world-honored one. How should a virtuous man or woman who has given rise to the minds of unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment, Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi, abide in that awakened mind, and how should they subdue their mind of affliction? The Buddha said to Subodhi, if a virtuous man or woman has given rise to the mind of Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi, they should give rise to this thought. I will liberate all sentient beings, yet have liberated all sentient beings. They should understand that, in reality, no sentient beings has been liberated. Why is this so, Subodhi? Because if a bodhisattva holds to the notion of self, a notion of others, the notion of sentient beings, or notion of longevity, they are not bodhisattva, Subodhi. The reason is that this awakening of Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi arises purely in no fixed truth. Subodhi, what do you think? Was there some truth that the Tathagata attained in the presence of the Dimkara Buddha, by which he realized Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi? No, world-honored one, as I understand the meaning of what the Buddha had taught. When you were in the presence of Vipakara Buddha, there was no specific truth by which you attain Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi. The Buddha said, so it is, Subodhi. Indeed, it is in the realm where there is no fixed truth that the Tathagata attained Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi. Subodhi, if there has been some fixed truth by which the Tathagata attained Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi, then Dipakara Buddha would not have bestowed upon me to prediction, saying, in a future age you will surely become a Buddha named Sakyamuni. It is purely because I attained Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi in the realm where there is no fixed truth that the Dipamkara Buddha bestowed this prediction upon me, saying, in a future age you will surely become a Buddha, and your name will be Sakyamuni. Why is this so? Because Tathagata means one in accord with the suchness, Tathata, of all phenomena. Therefore, Subodhi, even if someone says that the Tathagata attained Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi, in reality, the Tathagata attained it in the realm where there is no fixed truth. Subodhi, in the Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi that the Tathagata has attained, there is neither reality nor unreality. Thus, the Tathagata says that all phenomena on the Buddha's Dharma, Subodhi, called all phenomena, is naturally all phenomena. It is merely called all phenomena. Subodhi, it is like a person's body being exceedingly large. Subodhi said, world honored one. When the Tathagata speaks of a person's body being exceedingly large, it is not truly a large body. It is merely called a large body. The Buddha said, "So it is, Subhuti. A bodhisattva is the same. If someone says, I have liberated countless sentient beings, they cannot be called a bodhisattva. Why is this so, Subhuti? Because one who does not cling to any fixed truth in their mind is called bodhisattva. Therefore, the Tathagata says that in all phenomena, there is no self, no others, no sentient beings, and no longevity. Subhuti. If a Bodhisattva says, I will adorn a Buddha land, they cannot be called Bodhisattva. Why? Because the adornment of the Buddha land, as spoken of by the Tathagata, is not truly adornment. It is merely called adornment. Subhuti. If a Bodhisattva thoroughly penetrate the truth of oneself, the Tathagata will call the person a true Bodhisattva, a great being, Mahasattva. See all as one. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata possess the physical eyes? Yes, world honored one. The Tathagata possesses the physical eye. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata possess the divine eyes? Yes, world honored one. The Tathagata possesses the divine eye. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata possess the wisdom eye? Yes, world honored one. The Tathagata possesses the wisdom eyes. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata possess the Dharma's eye? Yes, world honored one. The Tathagata possesses the Dharma's eye. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata possess the Buddha's eye? Yes, although world honored one. Tathagata possesses the Buddha's eye. Subhuti, what do you think? Has the Tathagata spoken of the countless grains of sand in the Ganges River? Yes, world honored one. The Tathagata has spoken of the sands of the Ganges. Subhuti, what do you think? If there were as many Buddhas worth as grains of sand in the Ganges River, what you say those are numerous? Exceedingly numerous, world honored one. The Buddha said to Sativa, the Tathagata fully knows that the minds of all sentient beings in those numerous words. Why is this so? Because all minds that the Tathagata speaks of are not truly minds. They are merely called minds. The reason, Subhuti, is that the mind of the past cannot be grasped. The minds of the present cannot be grasped, and the minds of future cannot be grasped. Universally transform the realm of Dharma. Subhuti, do not say this. The Tathagata says that there is Dharma of truth that I have spoken. Why? Because if someone says the Tathagata has spoken a Dharma of truth, this becomes a slander against the Tathagata, for they do not understand the meaning of what I have said. Subhuti, to speak of truth is to speak of absence of truth. It is merely called speaking of truth. At that time, Subhuti, whose name means bright wisdom, addressed the Buddha, world honored one. In the future, will there be any sentient beings who, upon hearing these words of truth, can be raised to a mind of faith? The Buddha said, Subhuti, do not speak of sentient beings or not sentient beings. Why is this so, Subhuti? What is called sentient beings is spoken by the Tathagata as not sentient beings. It is merely named sentient beings. The Tathagata of the Dharma body, free from the form body. Subordinate, what do you think? If a person were to fill the trenchantly wholesome 3,000 great thousand words with the seven treasures and give them away widely in charity, would the merit gained by this person due to this cause be great? Yes, world honored one, this person would gain exceedingly great merit due to this cause. The Buddha said to Subodhi, if merit was something truly substan- substantial, the Tathagata would not say that great merit is gained. It is purely because merit is inherently insubstantial that the Tathagata says that great merit is gained. The teaching of beyond word, or the Dharma expounded without speech. Sporty, do not say this. The Tathagata thinks that there is a Dharma of truth that I have spoken. Why? Because if someone says the Tathagata has spoken a Dharma of truth, it is because this becomes a slander against the Tathagata, for they do not understand the meaning of what I have said. Sporty, to speak of truth is to speak of absence of truth. It is merely called speaking of truth. At that time, Swarti, whose name means bright wisdom, addressed the Buddha, world honored one. In the future, will there be any sentient beings who, upon hearing these words of truth, can give rise to minds of faith? The Buddha said, Subodhi, do not speak of sentient beings or not sentient beings. Why is this so, Subodhi? What is called sentient beings is spoken by the Tathagata is not sentient beings. It is merely named sentient beings. There is nothing to attain in truth. Subodhi addressed the Buddha. World honored one. When the Buddha attained unsurpassed, complete perfect enlightenment, Anyakdara Samyak Samburi, it is as though nothing was attained. The Buddha said, so it is, Subodhi. What I call Anyakdara Samyak Samburi is merely a name. It is the realm where not the slightest trace of any truth remain, and where I have attained nothing. That is called Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi. Cultivate goodness with pure land. Furthermore, Sambodhi, this truth is equal, with no high or low, and thus it is called Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi, unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment. By cultivating all virtues, Dharma, without the notion of a self, others, sentient beings, or longevity, one attained Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi, Subodhi. What is called virtue, Dharma, is spoken of by the Tathagata as naturally being virtuous Dharma. It is merely named virtuous Dharma. Merit and wisdom cannot be compared. Subodhi. Suppose a person were to take heaps of a seven treasures and vast as mountain Samaru, the king of mountains, in all Trenchilocosm, 3,000 great thousand words, and give them widely in charity. If, however, another person were to uphold, read, recite, and expound to others, even just say 4-line verses from this Gamgang Parame Sutra, the merit of the former would not amount to even 100th parts of the later, no, or 100,000 millionth parts, nor could it compare even if all possible numerical measures were gathered together, transforming others, yet nothing is done. Suborti, what do you think? Do not say that. The Tathagata thinks I must liberate sentient beings. Suborti, do not en- entertain such a thought. Why? Because in reality there are no sentient beings for Tathagata to liberate. If there were sentient beings for the Tathagata to liberate, it would mean the Tathagata holds notion of self, others, sentient beings, and longevity. Subordinate. When the Tathagata speaks of a self, it means there is no such a thing as a self. Only ordinary people speaks of self-supporting. What is called an ordinary person as spoken of by the Tathagata is not truly an ordinary person. It is merely named ordinary person. The Dharma body is not a being. Suborti, what do you think? Can the Tathagata be seen through the 32 marks of great beings? Suborti replies, yes. The Tathagata can be seen through the 32 marks of great beings, the Buddha said. Suborti, if the Tathagata could be seen through the 32 marks of great beings, then a real turning sage king would also be Tathagata. Subodhi addressed the Buddha, World-honored one. As I understand the meaning of what the Buddha has said, the Tathagata cannot be seen through the 32 marks of great beings. At that time, the World-honored one spoke this verse. If one seeks me through forms of searches or me through thousands, they walk a perverse path and will never see the Tathagata. It is not ultimately non-existent. Sporty. If you think that the Tathagata attained Anyaktara Samyaksambhuri because he lacks the perfected marks, does not entertain such a thought. Please do not say that the Tathagata attained Anyaktara Samyaksambhuri because he lacks perfect mark. Suborti, if you think that one would have given rise to the mind of Anyaktara Samyaksambhuri, asserts that all phenomena are cut off and utterly non-existent. Do not en- enter Do not entertain such a thought. Why? Because the one who has given rise to the mind of Anyattara Samyaksambhuri does not say that all phenomena are cut off and utterly non-existent as the truth. Neither receive nor craving. Sporty, if a Bodhisattva were to give away the seventh treasure, filling as many worlds as there are grains grains of sand in the Ganges River. And if another person realized the truth of no self in all phenomena and attained enlightenment, the merge of this later Bodhisattva would surpass that of the former. Why Subodhi? Because all Bodhisattva do not receive merge. Subodhi asked the Buddha, world-honored one, how is it that Bodhisattva do not receive merits? The Buddha replied, Subodhi, a Bodhisattva does not cling to the merit they have produced. Therefore, it is said they do not receive merit. The dignity is profound. Subodhi, if someone said the Tathagata comes, goes, sits, and lies down, that person does not understand the meaning of what I have said. Why? Because Tathagata neither comes from anywhere, nor goes away anywhere. Thus, he is called the Tathagata. Truth and phenomena are not two. Subordinate, if a virtue, man or woman, were to pulverize the trinchulocosm and define dust, what do you think? Would that fine dust be numerous? Exceedingly numerous, well-honored one. Why? Because if the fine dust were a real, substantial entity, the Buddha would not have spoken of it as fine dust. What is the reason? The fine dust spoken of by the Buddha is not truly fine dust. It is merely called fine dust. Word honored one. The Trinchulocosm spoken by the Tathagata is not truly a word. It is merely called a word. Why? Because if a word were real, substantial entirety, it would be an absolute singular form. Yet the absolute singular form spoken of by the Tathagata is not truly an absolute singular form. It is merely called a singular form. Subordinate, an absolute singular form cannot be expressed in words. Only ordinary sentient beings cling to it, do not give rise to views. Subordinate, if someone says that the Tathagata has spoken of views such as a self, others, sentient beings, or longevity, what do you think, Subordinate? Does this person correctly understand the truth I have spoken? No, word honored one, this person does not understand your spoken truth. Why? Because the views of self, others, sentient beings, and longevity that the word honored one has spoken of are not indeed views of self, others, sentient beings, or longevity. Subordinate. One who has given rise to the mind of Anyaktara Samyak Sambodhi should know, see, believe, and realize all phenomena in this way, without giving rise to the notion of truth. Subordinate. What is called the notion of truth is spoken of by the Tathagata is not truly a notion of truth. It is merely named a notion of truth. The manifested body is not real. Subordinate. If a person were to give away the seven treasures, filling countless asamheya, incalculable words, and if a virtuous man or woman who has given rise to the Bodhisattva mind uphold the sutra, even just a 4 lines verses, recite recites it and expounds it to others, their merge would far surpass that of the former. How could one expound it to others? By not being swayed by thoughts or phenomena, remaining suchness, unmoving. The reason is this: all conditioned phenomena are like dreams, illusion, bubbles, shadows, like dews of lightning. Thus, should they be contemplated, having full expound the sutra, the Buddha concluded. The elders Subaru, along with the monks, nuns, laymen, laywomen, and all gods, humans, and asura of the world who heard the Buddha's words, were filled with a great joy, believed, received, and practiced it. 금강 반야 바라멜지너 나무 바가바다 불어주나 바람이다야 옴나다 디디다야 일시일시밀시밀시 비나야 비나야 나무 바가바다 불어드디야 불어디리디리디 미리디 슈리디 슈리디 부유야 부유야 수바 나무 바가바다 불어주나 바람이다야 옴나다 디디다야 일시일시 밀시 비나야 비나야 나무 바가바다 불어드디야 불어디리디리디 미리디 슈리디 우시루 부유야 부유야 수바 나무 바가바다 불어주나 바람이다야 옴나다 디디다야 일시일시 Mercibina Namo Bhagavate Puraditi and Purati Reti Meriti Shuriti Ushuru Buya Subha. Translated to English. Homage to the Blessed One, the perfection of wisdom, O transcendent one, O victorious one, O victorious one, O immaculated one, O immaculated one, to the conqueror, homage to the blessed one, the supreme victorious one, O radiant one, O glorious one, O exalted one, O awakened one. Sabaha. Recited 3 times. Homage to the Blessed One, the perfection of wisdom, transcendent one, all victorious one, O immaculate one, to the conqueror, homage to the blessed one, the supreme victorious one, all radiant one, all glorious one, all exalted one, all awakened one, Sabaha. Homage to the Blessed One, the perfection of wisdom, all transcendent one, all victorious one, all immaculate one, to the conqueror, homage to the Blessed One, the supreme victorious one, all radiant one, all glorious one, all exalted one, O awakened one, O awakened Sabaha. Explanation. Namo Bhagavate, blessed one. Prajna Paramitaya, Om. May this merit extend universally to all, so that we together, with all sentient beings, fully arouse the minds of enlightenment, Bodhisattva, enter the visual realm together, and realize emptiness attained by the Buddha's path. As I have heard, victorious men and women who uphold with and recite this sutra of praise, a single scroll, surpass reciting the Diamond Sutra 300,000 times and receive divine protection and blessings. During the 7th year of Dalek era of the Goryeo dynasty in Busanhan, a woman of the Yu clan. At 19, she passed away. On the 7th day, she met Yama, the king of the underworld. He asked, "What deeds have you performed in your lifetime?" The woman replied, "In my lifetime, I earnestly obtained the Diamond Sutra." He asked, "Did you not recite the praise of the Diamond Sutra?" She answered, "Since my youth, I have constantly recited it without ceasing." The king said, "Then return to life, clearly remembering and upholding the sutra's text. Thus I have heard." She upheld it with her body and practiced it. 5,147 characters in sutra, 69 Buddhas, 51 world-honored ones, 85 Tathagata, 37 Bodhisattva, 138 Subhutis, 26 virtuous men and women, 38 rivers and mountains, 36 sentient beings, 31 meanings and metaphors, 30 poems, 29 instance of Anaktara Samyak Sambodhi, 21 acts of giving, 18 marriage, 13 Ganges river sands, 10 fine dust particles, 7 tranquilocosms, 7 case of 32 marks, 8 more marriage, 8 adornments, 5 perfection, 4 screen anterior, 4 once returnants, 4 non-returnants, 4 arhats at that time, 4 fruits of the sage, like when King Kali cut the body, or King Sakra when each limb was severed. If there is a notion of self, a notion of others, a notion of sentient beings, or a notion of longevity, every day there is no views of self, no views of others, no views of sentient beings, no views of longevity. 3 nuns upheld it within 7 days, completing the practice. Gumgang Namo Gumgang Banya Baramilgyo Namo Gumgang Banya Baramilgyo Namo Gumgang Banya Baramilgyo